all the great institutions of the Western world are, in point of fact, not doing what you think they're doing. And they've been set up purposely not to do what you think they're doing, but to accomplish what they wanted to start with. So now you've got to go back and find out who started all of this stuff. When? How far back does it go? Where does education of the public education go back to? Who started that? Where does the saluting of the flag go back to? Start questioning everything. And first of all, question authority. Because authority comes from the word author. So whoever writes down the law or the authors of the law, we refer to them, whoever they are, as the authorities. Well, you better go back, because first thing you learn in law, and I learned this a long time ago, lawyers and attorneys they go to college and university to study. They do not study law. The one thing lawyers do not study is law. They study procedure. There's a very big difference in studying law or studying the procedure in a court. And so what I mean by that is attorneys or lawyers go into a court and they know exactly how to say what they're supposed to say. They know they know the protocol of what they can do and what they can't do, and they do it for you. So you have to pay them to show you and to speak for you so that they will say the correct things. Well, but that's not studying the law. That's studying the procedure of the court. So when you begin to study law, now you get into the real meat of what is law. Who wrote the law? What law? And a lot of people do not know all of America's laws are copyrighted. They're copyrighted in Canada. There are companies in Canada that copyright all of America's laws, federal, state, city. So all laws in America are copyrighted, meaning that they are owned by someone. And then when you find out who actually owns and has the authority over law in America, it's not Americans. All of our laws come from somewhere else. And this is why you have to have a license to practice law. Why do you have to have a license? Well, very simple. You're using, if you're a lawyer, you're using books. You're studying the books of procedures, and then you are making money by charging your clients money. So now you're in business. You're charging money, so you are now making money. You're in business. And therefore, your business is to make money off of the books that you have read. And you can't do that in business at all. You cannot use somebody else's book to make a movie or use someone else's music, unless you get a permission from the person who developed the picture or the music or whatever it is you're using. So you have to have a license to use that person's name or his music. Well, then lawyers have to have a license to use that book to make money. So it's called a license to practice law. And so that's why you have to have a license, because the lawyers are making money on somebody else's books that they don't own. This is why when you get married, you have to have a license, because your body, your very physical body, is a security on the New York Stock Exchange. You do not, in fact, by law, own your body. And therefore, if you're getting married, the other person's body is also a security on the New York Stock Exchange. And both of you are classified in law as a human resource. And so this is the law, the way the laws work in America. All human people, all human bodies are a corporation, a company, and business. And if one business is going to do business with another business, called marriage, that's fine. You can do that as long as but remember, you're in business. So what you're doing is you're taking on a partner. And some people will say, well, I think that's very bad company. I think she's bad company. To which you could say, well, that's none of your business. and therefore you're taking on a partner. We're talking about corporate terms, business, law, partners, and therefore your body, as I said, is a corporation. That's why when you die, you're a corpse. So your body is a corporation. It's being commercialized on the New York Stock Exchange. Her body is a corporation, so you are now doing business. So you have to have a marriage license. It's interesting the way the world works and the way banks are set up and the way governments operate and the way the police department operates. And none of this has anything to do with football. That's why most people in America have no idea in the world what I'm talking about. But if you're really interested in, well, it's true. I mean, most people have no concept of what I'm talking about because it has nothing to do with what football or basketball or the game. Right. And so, who the hell cares? I mean, who cares about any of this stuff? And all that bunch of stuff that Jordan Maxwell talks about, all that looting stuff. It has nothing to do with Michael Jordan or bouncing a basketball or anything of any real importance.
Do you think that's a distraction?
Yeah, of course, that's all it is. Just give the people bread and circuses, something to look at. Make sure you have plenty of, make sure in America, you want to make sure you have a liquor store on almost every corner so that liquor and alcohol is freely available to the masses. So this way they got television to watch, they got plenty to drink, they got a lot of entertainment, and they got a lot of things to worry about, like the ball game and the scores, and they're going to keep their job and all kinds of things to keep them busy so they don't get in the way of the important people who are planning America's future. Because, that's like George Carlin said, the people who run the planet, it's a big club and you ain't in it. So all you need to do is just watch television the way they have provided for you, a television. They provided for you the games, and they give you plenty of alcohol, and that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. And so a long time ago, I figured out what was going on, and I don't want to buy into anybody's game. The whole thing is a game.
So how do you live your life now?
As a hermit.
Okay.
I go almost nowhere. I don't know how very well to relate to my fellow man, so I only have a couple of close friends that I talk to. I feel like Jackie Mason said it best, the comedian. Jackie Mason said, when I talk to other people, I always end up talking to myself.
Right.
So now I talk directly to me. I cut out the middleman. So that's what I do. I've got to a point where I don't know exactly how to communicate with my fellow man. I don't know how to say things that they will understand.
Right.
Because I've grown so far the opposite way from the way civilization is going.
Do you think that there's people out there that actually, I think now is a better time than any time in history for people that are what I consider awakening to some of these realities? And if people would just take a minute and take a look at what you're saying, I mean, I agree with like 99% of what you're saying. I mean, if you just take a look at it instead of just, that can't be.
Yeah, at least. I mean, excuse me. If you are on trial for your life and you're being charged with a capital crime, and if found guilty, you may die, your attorneys are going to pick 12 jurors for the jury. And if they come to me, what they will say to any prospective juror, they will ask, have you formed any opinion about this case? And which I would say, yes. I've already decided that this guy is guilty. And so they say, well, yeah, but you haven't heard the case. It doesn't matter. I have decided. I don't like his looks. I don't like the way he talks. He looks to me like he's guilty. So as far as I'm concerned, he's guilty.
Right.
Well, then they can't use me. Why?
Right.
Because I believe something, and I haven't even looked at the facts. So therefore, you cannot be used. Well, that's why the Christians are called believers. You believe something. You can't prove it, So I have always felt, even as a kid, I would like to know